Hey there, language adventurers. Today we're diving deep into something that's going to completely revolutionize the way you think about learning English. We're talking about comprehensible input, the secret sauce that makes language learning not just possible, but actually enjoyable. Leans in. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to pick up languages so effortlessly? Why do children learn languages so naturally? Well, today we're going to unlock that mystery together. We're going to explore a game-changing approach that will transform your English learning from a frustrating struggle to an exciting journey of discovery. Whether you've been studying English for years and feel stuck, or you're looking for a more natural way to improve your skills, this video is your ultimate guide. We'll break down what comprehensible input really is, show you practical strategies to use it in your daily life, and give you the tools to start learning English in a way that actually feels fun and effortless. So, grab your notebook, get comfortable, and prepare to see language learning in a completely new light. Your English adventure starts right here, right now.
Mastering English, the comprehensive guide to comprehensible input. Hey there, language adventurers! Buckle up, because we're about to embark on an epic journey into the world of language learning that's going to blow your mind. Adjust imaginary explorer hat. What's the big deal about comprehensible input? Let me tell you a story. Imagine you're a linguistic detective trying to crack the code of English. Traditional learning. That's like trying to solve a mystery with a blindfold and one hand tied behind your back. Comprehensible input? That's like having X-ray vision and a master key to the language kingdom. Linguistic geek moment. The term comprehensible input was brilliantly introduced by Dr. Stephen Krashen, a linguistic superhero who basically revolutionized how we understand language acquisition. It's not just a theory, it's a game-changing approach to learning languages. Breaking down the concept. Comprehensible input is like a magical language learning potion. Picture this. You're exposed to language that's just a tiny bit above your current level. It's like a linguistic stretch, not so difficult that you want to pull your hair out, but challenging enough to make your brain do a happy dance of learning. Pause time. Try to explain comprehensible input in your own words. Pause the video, grab a piece of paper, and write down your understanding, or if you prefer, answer the question out loud. Don't worry about mistakes. Possible answer. Comprehensible input is a language learning approach where you're exposed to language that is just slightly above your current level. It means consuming content that you can mostly understand, but which also challenges you to learn new words, phrases, and structures naturally. The key is that the material should be interesting and not too difficult, allowing your brain to acquire language almost unconsciously. Key points in the answer. Slightly above current level. Mostly understandable. Naturally acquiring language. Interesting content. Colloquial insight. Notice how I use the phrase, brain do a happy dance. This is a fun, informal way of expressing excitement or positive mental stimulation. Native speakers love using creative, playful language like this. The science behind the magic. Here's where it gets nerdy in the coolest way possible. Our brains are like super sophisticated language learning machines. When we're exposed to comprehensible input, we're not just memorizing, we're absorbing. It's like your brain is a sponge, soaking up language naturally and effortlessly. Colloquial corner. Nerdy is a fun term, meaning someone who's super passionate and knowledgeable about a specific topic. In this case, we're proud language learning nerds. How our brain processes language. Think of language acquisition like learning to play a musical instrument. You don't become a guitar hero by reading sheet music all day. You practice, listen, and gradually understand the patterns. The same goes for language learning. Pause time. Explain how learning a language is similar to learning a musical instrument. Try to use at least 3 specific examples in your explanation. Possible answer. Learning a language is like learning a musical instrument in several key ways. First, both require consistent practice, just as a musician practices scales. A language learner needs regular exposure. Second, you start with basic notes or words and gradually build complexity. Third, both skills become more intuitive and natural. With time, a guitarist eventually plays without thinking about each finger placement, just like an advanced language learner speaks without translating every word. Key points in the answer. Consistent practice is crucial. Start with basics and build complexity. Skills become more intuitive over time. Parallel between muscle memory and language fluency. Language. Hack. Did you catch the term guitar hero? This is a playful reference to both a popular video game and a colloquial way of describing someone who's extremely skilled at playing the guitar. Practical strategies for comprehensible input mastery. 1. Movie magic. Learning English through movies isn't just fun. It's a scientifically proven strategy. Here's how to make it work. Start with movies you already know in your native language. Use English subtitles. Choose films slightly above your current language level. Watch scenes multiple times. Focus on understanding context, not every single word. Pause. Time. Describe your favorite movie and explain how you could use it as a tool for comprehensible input language learning. What specific strategies would you apply? Possible answer. I would choose The Avengers because I already know the basic plot. My strategy would be to first watch it with Spanish subtitles, then with English subtitles, and finally without subtitles. I'd pay attention to how characters use common expressions, pause when I hear interesting phrases, and try to write down new vocabulary. I'd focus on understanding the overall context and emotional tone of conversations, not getting stuck on every single word. Key points in the answer. Choose a familiar movie. Use multiple viewing strategies. Focus on context and expressions. Write down new vocabulary. Don't get overwhelmed by understanding everything. Colloquial insight. Notice how I use the phrase getting stuck. This is a natural way native speakers describe feeling frustrated or unable to progress in a task. 2. Podcast and audiobook adventures. Listening is a superpower in language learning. Podcasts and audiobooks are like your personal language gym. They'll help you build those linguistic muscles without feeling like you're working out. Strategies for effective listening. Begin with slower-paced content. Find materials with accompanying transcripts, like this video. Listen actively, train your ears like a linguistic ninja. Repeat challenging sections. Try shadowing, repeating what you hear immediately after the speaker. Linguistic side. Note, shadowing is a professional language learning technique where you repeat audio immediately after hearing it, mimicking pronunciation and intonation perfectly. Pause time. Describe your current listening practice. What podcasts or audio resources do you use? If you're not using any, brainstorm 3 potential resources you could start with today. Possible answer. Currently, I use TED Talks in English because they cover diverse topics and have clear, relatively slow speakers. I plan to expand my resources by adding a daily news podcast like BBC Global News Podcast for current events, an educational podcast like Stuff You Should Know for interesting topics, and maybe a storytelling podcast like The Moth to improve my narrative listening skills. My strategy will be to listen first without transcript, then with transcript, and finally try to summarize what I've heard. Key points in the answer: diverse audio resources, clear speaking styles, multiple listening strategies, focus on comprehension and enjoyment, systematic approach to learning, colloquial expression. Linguistic ninja is a playful way of saying someone who's extremely skilled and strategic in language learning, combining the idea of precision and expertise. The psychology of language learning. Here's a mind-blowing truth. Language learning is 90% psychology and 10% technique. Your attitude matters more than you think. Comprehensible input works best when you're relaxed, curious, having fun, not afraid to make mistakes. Motivation, moment. Mistakes are not failures. They're your personal language learning trophies. Each mistake is a step closer to mastery. Pause time. Describe a time when you felt embarrassed about making a mistake while speaking English. How could you reframe that experience as a positive learning opportunity? Possible answer. Once, while trying to order coffee in English, I accidentally said, "I want to make coffee," instead of "I want to order coffee." The barista looked confused, and I felt completely embarrassed. Now I realize that moment was actually incredible language learning. I learned the correct verb, order, understood the difference between make and order, and even practiced my communication skills by clarifying what I wanted. Instead of feeling shame, I now see it as a valuable learning experience that helped me improve my English communication. Key points in the answer. Mistakes are learning opportunities. Specific language learning occurred. Positive reframing of embarrassing moments. Communication is more important than perfection. Colloquial insight. Reframing is a psychological term that means looking at a situation from a different, more positive perspective. Native speakers often use this concept in personal development and learning contexts. Real-world application strategies. Language learning isn't about perfection, it's about connection. The more you engage with English in meaningful ways, the faster you'll improve. Think of it like making friends with a language. 1. Gradual immersion technique. Start with 15 minutes of English content daily. Slowly increase your exposure. Mix different types of content. Movies, podcasts, YouTube videos. Keep a language learning journal. 2. Content selection tips. Choose topics you're genuinely passionate about. Love cooking? Watch cooking shows in English. Crazy about sports? Find English sports commentary. Interested in technology? Watch tech reviews and discussions. Pause. Time. Create a personalized one-week English learning plan using Comprehensible Input. Include specific resources, times, and goals that match your interests and current language level. Possible answer. My personalized plan focuses on my passion for fitness. I'll start with a 20-minute workout YouTube channel in English, watching with subtitles. I'll listen to a fitness podcast called Mind Pump for 15 minutes daily, initially using transcripts. I'll watch one fitness documentary on Netflix in English each week, using English subtitles. My goal is to learn 10 new fitness-related vocabulary words each week and practice describing workout routines in English. I'll track my progress in a journal, noting new words and phrases I've learned. Key points in the answer. Personalized approach based on personal interests. Varied content sources. Clear, achievable goals. Systematic tracking of progress. Matching learning to personal motivation. Colloquial expression. Making friends with a language is a playful way of describing the process of becoming comfortable and familiar with a new language, making it feel less intimidating and more like a personal connection. Language learning. Tip. Notice how the sample plan includes multiple types of input: listening, watching, and potentially speaking. This multimodal approach is crucial for comprehensive language acquisition. Common myths about comprehensible input. Language learning is surrounded by myths that can hold you back. Let's bust some of these linguistic legends wide open. Myth 1. You need to understand every single word. Reality. Context is king. Native speakers don't understand every word in every conversation. What matters is getting the main idea. Myth 2. Grammar rules are the most important thing. Reality. While grammar matters, natural acquisition happens through exposure and meaningful communication. Myth 3. Language learning is boring. Reality. Language learning can be the most exciting adventure of your life when you approach it with curiosity and passion. Pause time. Which of these myths have you believed in the past? Describe how this belief affected your language learning journey and how you might change your approach now. Possible answer. I used to believe that I needed to understand 100% of what I heard in English, which made me feel frustrated and discouraged. I would stop listening or reading if I didn't understand every single word. Now I realize that this approach was completely wrong. Language learning is about understanding the general meaning, picking up context, and gradually expanding my vocabulary. Instead of getting stuck on unknown words, I now try to guess their meaning from the context, which makes learning much more enjoyable and less stressful. I've learned that it's okay to not understand everything. In fact, that's a normal part of the language learning process. Key points in the answer: recognizing previous misconceptions, understanding the importance of context, embracing imperfect understanding, shifting to a more positive learning approach, valuing the learning process over perfection. Colloquial insight. The phrase "bust some myths" is a casual way of saying disprove or challenge existing beliefs. Native speakers often use this expression when challenging long-held misconceptions. Language learning. Tip: pay attention to how native speakers use expressions like "context is king." These idiomatic phrases not only help you understand language, but also make your own speaking more natural and engaging. Your Comprehensible Input Toolkit. Think of this as your personal language learning survival kit. These are the essential tools that will transform your English learning journey from a boring classroom exercise to an exciting adventure. Your Comprehensible Input Toolkit. 1. Patience. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Celebrate small victories. Be kind to yourself in the process. 2. Curiosity. Approach language like a detective. Ask questions. Stay hungry for new knowledge. 3. Consistent exposure. Daily contact with English. Variety of content. Mix fun and challenging materials. 4. Enjoyment. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Choose content that excites you. Make learning a pleasure, not a chore. 5. An open mind. Be willing to make mistakes. Embrace cultural differences. See every interaction as a learning opportunity. Pause time. Which of these toolkit elements do you struggle with the most? Describe a specific strategy you could use to improve in that area. Possible answer. I struggle most with patience. I want to become fluent quickly and get frustrated when progress seems slow. My strategy will be to create a language learning progress journal, where I document small wins each week. Instead of focusing on what I can't do, I'll track new words I've learned, conversations I've understood, and moments where I successfully communicated in English. I'll set realistic monthly goals and reward myself for consistent effort, not just perfect performance. This way, I can appreciate my gradual improvement and stay motivated. Key points in the answer. Identifying personal challenge. Creating a concrete improvement strategy. Focusing on positive progress. Setting realistic expectations. Maintaining motivation through self-recognition. Colloquial insight. Survival kit is a metaphorical expression meaning a collection of essential tools or resources that help you succeed in a challenging situation. Language learning. Tip: notice how the model answer uses specific, actionable language. This is how native speakers typically approach problem solving with clear, practical steps. Final motivational explosion. You're not just learning a language, you're opening doors to new cultures, perspectives, and experiences. Comprehensible input is your secret weapon, your linguistic superpower. Learning English isn't about becoming perfect. It's about connecting, understanding, and expressing yourself. Every podcast you listen to, every movie you watch, every conversation you attempt is a step towards becoming a confident, global communicator. Pause time. Imagine yourself 1 year from now having successfully used comprehensible input to improve your English. Describe that future version of yourself in detail. What can you do? How do you feel? What opportunities are now open to you? Possible answer. 1 year from now, I see a more confident version of myself. I can understand podcasts and movies without subtitles. I'm comfortable having conversations with native speakers without constantly translating in my head, and I feel a sense of pride in my language journey. I've made international friends through language exchange. I can now watch professional conference presentations and fully understand the content, and I feel more connected to global culture. My improved English has opened professional opportunities. I can now communicate effectively in international work environments and feel my career prospects have expanded. Most importantly, I feel a sense of joy and accomplishment in my language learning process. Key points in the answer: tangible language skills, emotional growth, professional and personal opportunities, increased confidence, connection to broader world. Motivational message. Remember, language learning is a journey of continuous discovery. There's no finish line, only exciting milestones and incredible experiences along the way. Colloquial insight. Linguistic superpower is a playful way of describing language skills as an extraordinary ability that sets you apart and opens unique opportunities. Final words of wisdom. Stay curious. Be kind to yourself. Embrace mistakes. Keep learning. Have fun. Catch you in the next video. Language warriors, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep having fun.
And just like that, we've explored the incredible world of comprehensible input. Remember, language learning isn't about perfection. It's about connection, progress, and enjoying the journey. Every podcast you listen to, every movie you watch, every conversation you attempt is a step towards becoming a confident global communicator. Your English journey is unique. Embrace it, have fun with it, and never stop being curious. The world is waiting to hear your voice, to understand your stories, to connect with you. Colloquial tip. Notice how I used "and just like that." A super casual way native speakers signal the conclusion of a story or explanation. Before you go, I have a challenge for you. Take one strategy we discussed today and implement it this week. Just one. Small steps lead to massive transformations. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share with a friend who's also learning English. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep having fun. This is your language adventure, and you're the hero of this story. See you in the next video, Language Warriors.